Hey guys, Joseph here. Today we're doing another video, and today it's on the V70, and today we're doing a POV video of Grandad driving this, obviously. Here's obviously the car, the back, and there's obviously the left side of it. This is the right. We just pulled off of the motorway to do this POV video. It's obviously the A3. Here's inside the car, obviously. Interior. So obviously it's got the leather seats. So it's got a little rip there. You can tell this has been virtually rebuilt. Here's the armrests. These are a new gate as we installed. Here's obviously steering wheel, dashboard. And there's obviously a pop-out cup holder, which it doesn't spring out like it used to. That's the front. I'll give you a view of the rear. There you go. There's obviously your rear. So it's got a crack in the speaker right there. Yeah. Nice seat belts. This is a split folding seat, and in the centre you have your rear armrest that drops down. This is how you fold them, if you're wondering. All you do is pull this up and it comes up like that. And to do this, there's this catch right here, you pull to the back and that comes down. Not that we need to. So yeah, that's probably passenger side to most of you, but this is a right-hand drive in the UK. That's where we are. Here's the tailgate. I know to you in America it's called the trunk, but here it's called the boot in England. Here's your boot space. Got plenty of storage right there. That goes down there. Put that back. Some more this side. And the fuse box right there. And here's where the cover clips into right there, which we're just going to clip this back in. And obviously shut the boot. Under the bonnet, this has been really rebuilt. There's obviously the left rear, which obviously follows through. Here's obviously the front, which here gives you lots of leg room up front. Surface seat quite far back. And obviously, I shall show you the engine bay. Show you this has virtually been rebuilt. In case you haven't seen the other videos, you probably know this has been rebuilt if you've looked at the other videos on the channel. Which yeah, I'll just give you a quick overview up front. See, it's got a new engine mount, new master cylinder. Well, we didn't get filmed master cylinder, but you see, got a new brake fluid reservoir. The coolant reservoir's original, so far I know. So yeah, that's pretty much under the bonnet, but it's raining on to quickly close it. It's got body coloured mirrors, body coloured door handles. It's got 17-inch wheels, which I just... Right, see if I find it. These are 17-inch alloys, if I can find it. 225 45 R17, so 17-inch wheels with low profile tyres. So yeah, it's starting to rain, so we're going to jump in the car. So just get this POV ride right now. Right guys, we're on the test drive. The POV I mean. Started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we off then?
Yeah.
We thought we'd bring you along on part of our drive on our day out. And as you can see, it's raining. Weather's not very good. So we thought this car's been on YouTube so much, we thought we'd bring you along to let us know the result of our work that we've done. And we'll talk about it while we're driving.
It's good, it does.
This
I can see what you guys are seeing.
Well, all this started, all the work started, this was last year, and we started to get trouble with this, and
you won't tell there is an engine light, which I know you guys can see on the speedometer.
Yeah, so we've been working on this for over the course of a year, I suppose, just over a year. And previous to that, had no problems at all with the car. At least we had about 5 years.
Right guys, if you're wondering what that black thing is, that's the alarm movement sensor, if you wondered what that was. Checked you. We're still recording. Which we are.
Do you want me to talk about this, or?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I didn't know you was talking about that, and I didn't know whether we were on or we were off, or so what's happening.
You can tell them more about this.
Right. Okay. We've seen this vehicle on YouTube on and off for about a year or so now. Previous to that, we had no trouble with the car for at least 5 years that I can remember. Just used to get it serviced, and you know, the normal things that go wrong on a car, you know, like brakes and tyres, exhausts. But last year we started getting lots of engine lights and problems with that, and it all started from there really. It kicked off with a new timing belt kit, which was you know, obviously included the belt, pump, tension and pulleys. We did that. While I had it stripped down, flushed out all the old you know, the radiator, and put new antifreeze in, you know, just redone all of that as we had the pump off anyway. Then it progressed from that to oxygen sensors. We've got 2 matching oxygen sensors, Denso type. Shortly after that we had a mass airflow go, so we did that. We sorted that out. Recently I had very uneven wear on the brake discs. I don't know, it was probably the result of a cheap pair of pads that were put on, and it decided to gouge out one side of the discs, which I didn't feel comfortable with, so renewed the front discs, but also decided to do the rear discs as well. So it was pads, discs all round, rear hand brake shoes, undoing wanted to bleed the brakes out, and one of the rear calipers had a bleed valve which was rusted in. I couldn't get it out, and resulted in snapping off in the end, so I just renewed the calipers. I just couldn't get it out, just would not come out. So then that killed that. Then we had some terrible vibrations coming from the car, you know, between speeds of 55 and about 65. So resulted in drive shaft changes. We changed them. I didn't think there was no point in just changing one out. I did the two because the car's a high mileage one. It's done over 200,000. So I guessed that, you know, it wouldn't be too long before the other one's gone. When we took them out, I noticed that somebody put a second-hand one in.
You're wondering what the mileage is, guys. It's currently 227,148.
Yeah, it's done a lot of miles.
Yeah, and when we first got this car, it only had 90,000 miles. Back in 2012, it's only had 90,000 on it. So this was low mileage, this car, until now.
So we've had the car 7 years, I think, now.
Yeah. We nearly had this 10 years in a couple of years' time.
I can't remember what else.
Another 3 years, it'd run this 10 years.
Yeah. I can't remember what else we did to it. I've done an upgrade on the throttle body.
Yeah.
Started to get in trouble with that, so I've stripped the bottom of that out and done that. So to do the electronic part of it. Seemed a cheaper way out of it, otherwise it would have been a different throttle body. If you change them over, then you have to get a Tech 2 or a Vida dice to program the new throttle body to the car. So rather than do that, I decided to do a mod on it, and that works. It was great. So, you know, we did that. What else did we do? Oh yeah, on changing the calipers at the rear, I decided to put a new master cylinder on, so I did that. And while I was looking under the bonnet one day, we were shaking the engine around, and the engine mountings were a bit spongy, so we changed them out. Luckily for us, that the two main ones, front and back bearings, they're not hydraulic, which is good. So they're obviously coming more expensive than the solid type which I've got on this. So as a result of the works, it's going okay now. It's all right. I think we've resolved 90% of it. Although I don't know whether you can see, I've got another engine light up which is telling me that the cat's gone on it, the catalytic converter. So I didn't bother turning it off because it's only going to come back on again, and it's a constant reminder for me, you know, to obviously get it done in the future. So there's that to do. So the car's quite old now, 17 years old. It runs really good at the moment. I was going to get a newer one, but decided against it because all I'll be doing was spending a load of money on a newer one, which I could have got just as much trouble with that as I could this. So it didn't seem any sense on buying one and spending the money out for a newer one of these when I could have got it on the same
on the dry windscreen.
So I could have got it on a, you know, I'm not worried about the number plate, but I could have got the same trouble on a newer car. So I decided to just spend the money on this, get this one right, and just keep the car. It doesn't appear to rust at all. So, you know, that's fine. That's okay. Not particularly worried about how old the car is, as long as it looks reasonable and it runs okay and it's not dangerous, all the rest of it. I did have advisories on an MOT to do the front flexible brake hoses, so I did those, and when I swapped the rear calipers out, I replaced the rear hoses as well, just to, you know, just to make sure it went through and I didn't get any advisories, and it just seemed a good thing to do while I had it all stripped out. I did have a problem with one of the front brake hoses where I had to re-flare the pipe, I had to cut a piece off and re-flare it because the nut snapped off in the caliper. It just seemed to have disappeared. It disintegrated when I put a spanner to it, and it just snapped away. So I had to make an end for that. So you know, we did that, and it's, as a result of it, it's going fine now. The handbrake never really worked properly ever since I had the car, and on this particular model there's no brake adjusters on the rear for the rear shoes. So we've done a mod on that, and I put two new mechanical adjusters on. That seems to have done the trick. They lock up now, and they're fine. They've worked better than they've ever did. I don't know whether you know, maybe if you get main dealer parts for it, the shoes would have worked any different. I don't know whether it would have done or not. There could be something different about, you know, with the thickness of the braking material on the shoe. You know, maybe it starts off thinner one, then gets thicker the other one, and that allows for the, you know, the adjustment. But in any case, I resolved it anyway. I just threw the spacer bars away and replaced it with some mechanical ones I think I got off of eBay. Joe did an upgrade on the speedo, the silver rings. I don't know if you can see him on the speedo.
Yeah, you can see him.
Yeah, we did. He did those. He stripped the dash out and put the rings on and put it back. I can't. Oh, gear lever gate that we renewed, that was a bit worn, and the handbrake gate that we did those, so they were a bit worn. And as we're keeping the car, we thought, well, we'll just go for it, and we did it. As for owning one, they're not the most economical car, but
it's really good on the long run, though.
Well, compared to newer cars, it's probably not good.
36.6 average.
Yeah, we're doing a
spontaneous, doing 32.5, 30 now.
I mean, you know, most modern day cars will be doing 50 miles to the gallon. This is not economical at all, this car, but it depends what you want the car for. You know, if you're going to run backwards and forwards to work locally every day, I would imagine that, you know, it'd be quite costly to do that. But I mean, we run another car, so we don't use this all the time. Most of the time we do, but you know, we've got another one to use anyway, which has been really good, because while we've been working on this and this has been standing, we've had, you know, obviously had transport to drive, so that's been good as well. Which
is the Saab 95, isn't it?
Yeah, you've probably seen that on YouTube as well. We've had a few issues with that.
Well, that one don't run, we use this.
We had the other issue we had, this was an ABS sensor, a rear one. I think it was a near side rear. We did that. That was okay.
That was from the dealership, that was. Trying to crank this engine over with no chip in the key.
I don't know why I put the vehicle into the main dealer, and when it came out the ABS light was on, and it wasn't on before it went in, but it was no good taking it back, because they were just going to say, oh, it was fine, you know, when they took it out. But what they probably did was turn all the lights off before they give it back to me, and obviously it weren't too long before the light popped back up, and they probably waited for me to go back, but I didn't do that. I just bought another sensor at the rear and swapped that one out myself and did that one. As I say, not a very economical car to run. Good family car though. It's a very stable car on the road. High winds don't seem to affect it. Great on the motorway. I think it's probably at its best, you know, on the motorway. It's not really a shopping car or such. You know, great if you've got a family. There's a large boot in the back of it. You know, by and large, there's plenty of room. I've shifted some stuff in it when I've had to, and it's been quite big enough, really.
And it proves you can empty a whole flat out of it as well.
As I say, it's not too bad to run. The tax on it's very expensive, so I think it's £325 a year. I can only think that I'm subsidising those people with newer cars, because you know, the amount of money they take off you for these is obviously they don't want a person to have an older car. They're just trying to get rid of them. You know, they say they're very polluting, but I don't know so much. I mean, every car's polluting anyway, but I don't think that the person that owns an older car should bear the brunt of the cost. I think it's totally unfair. Anyway, that's another issue. It does everything I want it to. I'm not worried about the age of it, as long as it's safe and looks reasonable. You know, I'm not worried about that. I know that the later ones, when they did the Mark, I think it would probably be the Mark II, I suppose. I don't think they're not particularly good. The centre panel is very thin.
That's on the Mark III.
Yeah, the Mark III.
This is the Mark II.
Looks very cheap. I think on the later ones they've lost their lustre look, I suppose you could say that. But at the end of the day, they're Chinese made, so they're probably made for cheapness. But I'm not keen on the later ones. I was looking at a newer one, but I don't like it, so I never bought one. I'd rather an old one. It seems better quality inside. This is the first Volvo I've ever owned. I didn't intentionally go out to buy a Volvo. I just bought a car because I needed one at the time, and this just seemed to fit the bill for what I needed it for in the first place.
Peugeot 406, that's what you were going to buy.
Yeah, I was looking at a 406, a diesel, but I'm glad I never bought a diesel, because apparently they're the devil's cars at the moment, all diesels. So that would have probably restricted me in future where I could have used it, whereas this one is not so restricting. It just cost a fortune on road tax. So yeah, it seems to have everything that you know you need in the car. It hasn't got rain sensors. You know, the later ones can be fitted with rain sensors. I haven't got those. I've got them on the other car. They are quite useful, but it's something you can do without. You know, the aircon works okay. We got that. There is an air pollution sensor that does need doing on this car, but I don't particularly want to buy it because I can't warrant the price of it. I think it's about £85, and all it does is open and shut the fresh air flap. And that's what this controls down there. That right there, I don't know if you can see that. Once you've got it on auto, it's meant to open and shut the flap if the air's polluted. The sensor picks up the pollution and shuts the flap to recirculate the air in the car. Well, I think I can live without that, so I'm not particularly bothered about that. The other issue with the car, sometimes the fan speed on the heater, that doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I've checked that out, everything seems to work as it should be. I think it's more like an electronic module that's probably at fault on that. The modules they do want resetting on the car, but you need a VIDA dice for that, or a Tech 2 maybe, you know, to reset them. So I haven't bothered with that, so I've just left that alone. It seems to have rectified itself for the time being, and I haven't had a problem with it. I looked something up on YouTube once, and apparently this temperature sensor in there, they get a lot of fluff on it, and that can cause a problem. So I cleaned that out, and I think I put a small stick in there or something and twisted it around and pulled a lot of fluff out of it. So if your temperature doesn't seem to regulate properly in the cab, maybe, you know, that's what you want to look at, something on that. What else we had go wrong. I think that's about it. All I can say is that the longer you own one, the more they seem to grow on you. And I've found that since I have had it, when I've got in other cars, I can seem to find more faults in them than I can this one. This one's a lot older. The seat quality is really good. They're very comfortable. They've got you know, good quality leather on the seats. And I think the later ones, I've actually seen pictures of them where all the seats are torn and they're not even half this age really. Which tells me that, you know, the quality, the standards dropped in them. That's one of the other reasons why I don't want to buy one. So I think, you know, if you wanted one of these, I suppose you could get one on an 06. I think was about the latest one they did of this model, or an 07. Excuse me. After that, I think the build qualities went down a bit on them. You know, they didn't. Although it's probably still a nice car, but I think maybe after this one I'll be looking for something else. Maybe not a Volvo, because I think they've just lost something about them inside. That's so. As I say, it's good on the motorway. I think it's best on there. Bit of a nightmare in car parks because the steering locks on them aren't very good, especially multi-storey car parks. You need quite a wide turning circle to go between floors and down the ramps in a car park, and sometimes you have to go at it twice if you haven't got it quite right the first time. So I think that's quite a fault on them really, but you just make allowances for that.
And you kind of have to crank the steering wheel to get round corners.
Yeah,
a bit more than most other cars.
Yeah, you certainly have to sometimes.
These are poor turning radius.
They do, yeah. That's not good. I can't think of what else we've incurred on it. Overall, it's been a good car since I've owned it. A lot of safety features, airbags in the roof, doors, seats.
All up the side.
Yeah, they've got a curtain along the side, so you know, it's a good safety aspect in them.
And in these side door pillars right here.
I've had them all checked out. They all seem to be fine.
When did you have them checked out?
In the Volvo dealers. That's one of the reasons.
Did they check them out?
Yeah, I asked them to.
When you had the keys lost?
Yeah, so they did all that. They all seem to work fine. Don't need changing. And
how did they test them?
Well, I don't know. They probably put them on their scanners, and they run through all the modules and make sure it's all going to go off when it should do. And so yeah, that was fine. That was done. So I've had a lot of expense with the car over the course of a year. The end result seems I'm quite happy with the end result. It's you know, it's going good. It's obviously not a car you want to sort of throw around corners and things like that, but on occasions where I've sort of cornered hard and it seems to go around them okay, holds the road well. Not that I drive like that all the time, but sometimes you have to. You know, obviously compared to a sport, it's not nowhere. It's not you know, it's not a sports car, but it's so the suspensions are not geared up for that anyway. But as for a daily car, I haven't got a problem with it. It's nice and comfortable, and it's good. Yeah, so all round, it's fine. Some come with electric seats. We haven't got any of those.
Or heated.
Yeah. We've got no heated seats. I've got heated seats in the other car. I never use them anyway.
Yeah.
I can't really see any advantage of them. But you know, I don't know. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their idea of a car and what they want. This seems to have enough equipment in here that I need.
The heated seats in these Volvos get hot. They do when you turn them on.
I just think
they get quite hot. Heated seats in these. If you have a Vida Dice, you can adjust the heated seat level.
I just think that the more gadgets that car's got in them, more to go wrong.
These Volvos have heated seats. The heated seat temperature can be adjusted on the Vida dice.
Alright.
Yeah, the levels can be adjusted for 1, 2 and 3.
That don't look very safe, that lorry on the back of that, does it?
No.
Don't know if you can see it, viewers, can you? There it is.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that looks safe.
Looks like he's carrying a spare lorry with him. I bet he's getting good mileage going out of the lorry that's on the back of that one.
Yeah, it'd be like 10 to the gallon.
That'll be more, less than a gallon, wouldn't it?
Half a mile to the gallon.
I thought they were meant to be on a flatbed, didn't they? No, I don't know.
I wonder how long we've been filming for now. Let's see.
So I hope I hope this film's of interest to someone, or
26 minutes we've been filming for.
if you've got any comments, or you've got a problem with your car, your Volvo, about this age, you need an answer. I've done an awful lot of work on this. I've certainly found my way around it this last couple of years. If you leave any comments, we'll try and get back to you on them, and hopefully try and help you out if you have got a problem. Something that we might be able to to know the answer for you, or tell you what to do about it, or advise you where to go as far as information is concerned. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the film and you've come on part of our journey with us. Thanks for watching. See you soon.